Oh, well, it's, by the way, I get very nervous on talk shows. I get very uncomfortable, and I haven't done one for like a decade.
No one expected a single overnight flight to destroy Hollywood's most famous family. For years, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie looked unstoppable, raising 6 children while building an image of the perfect modern family. But behind the glamorous red carpets, tensions had been growing for far longer than anyone realized. Then came one flight in September 2016 that would reportedly change every relationship inside the family forever. And what happened after the plane landed was only the beginning. According to later court filings and public reports, an argument aboard the private jet escalated into something much more serious. Angelina claimed the confrontation left both her and the children deeply shaken, leading authorities to review the incident. Within days, she made a decision that stunned Hollywood by filing for divorce. Suddenly, the couple everyone believed would last forever was heading into one of the longest and most closely watched legal battles in celebrity history. But the emotional damage was already spreading. What followed wasn't a quick Hollywood breakup. It became a years-long battle over custody, finances, and the future of their family. Headlines changed almost weekly as new court documents surfaced and private details became public conversation. While lawyers argued in courtrooms, the 6 children were quietly growing up under extraordinary pressure. Every family gathering, birthday, and holiday carried the weight of a conflict that seemed to have no ending. Yet the biggest changes weren't happening in court at all. As the years passed, fans began noticing something unusual. The children rarely appeared publicly with Brad, while Angelina was almost always surrounded by all 6 of them. Reports suggested each child processed the divorce differently, but many appeared especially protective of their mother. Instead of chasing Hollywood fame, they focused on school, creative projects, and private lives away from constant attention. Their silence often spoke louder than any interview ever could. But one son had stepped into that protective role long before anyone realized. Maddox had been Angelina's first child years before Brad Pitt entered the picture, creating a bond built on trust and shared experiences. As he grew older, he became more than just her son. He often appeared to be her closest supporter. He developed a passion for filmmaking, working behind the scenes on several of Angelina's projects, while avoiding celebrity attention himself. After the family crisis, many believed that bond only became stronger. But Maddox wasn't the only child determined to forge his own path. Pax entered Angelina's life in 2007 after being adopted from Vietnam, and unlike many celebrity children, he never seemed comfortable living in the spotlight. He preferred staying behind the camera, developing a love for photography and visual art rather than acting. In 2024, fans were concerned after he was involved in an e-bike accident in Los Angeles, but thankfully he recovered. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this story, take a second to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest Hollywood stories. But Pax's biggest surprise wasn't the accident. Over the past few years, rumors have linked Pax to artwork created under a mysterious alias, sparking speculation that he wanted his talent judged without the influence of his famous last name. While those reports have never been officially confirmed, they reflected something many fans had already noticed. Pax has always seemed determined to build an identity completely separate from Hollywood fame. His goal appeared to be creating a life where his work spoke louder than his family name. Meanwhile, another sibling was preparing to make an even bolder statement. Zahara's journey has been one of the most inspiring in the Jolie family. Adopted from Ethiopia as a baby, she grew into a confident young woman passionate about education and humanitarian causes. Rather than relying on celebrity status, she launched charitable projects at a young age and later chose to attend Spelman College, earning admiration for carving out her own path. While many expected her to follow Hollywood traditions, Zahara seemed focused on building something far more meaningful. Then came one public moment that immediately made headlines. During a public introduction at her college sorority event, Zahara introduced herself simply as Zahara Marley Jolie. Observers quickly noticed the absence of Pitt, fueling widespread discussion across entertainment media. Although the family has rarely spoken publicly about these deeply personal decisions, the moment was widely viewed as a powerful expression of independence. Rather than letting others define her identity, Zahara appeared determined to shape her own future on her own terms. But Hollywood was equally curious about how Brad viewed it all. Brad Pitt has generally avoided discussing family matters in detail, choosing instead to keep public comments respectful and limited. Over the years, he has spoken warmly about his children's talents and expressed pride in their accomplishments, even as reports suggested some relationships remained strained. It's a reminder that behind the headlines are real people navigating incredibly personal challenges. While the older children were finding their own identities, one daughter was quietly becoming one of the internet's biggest inspirations, and her story was just getting started. From the moment she was born, Shiloh Jolie captured worldwide attention. As the first biological child of Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, many expected her to become Hollywood's next superstar. Instead, she chose a completely different path. Rather than embracing the spotlight, Shiloh focused on discovering who she wanted to be, ignoring the constant media attention surrounding her appearance and personal choices. Over time, fans admired her confidence in living life on her own terms. But her greatest passion wasn't found on a movie set. That passion turned out to be dance. Videos of Shiloh practicing at Los Angeles dance studios quickly spread across social media, surprising viewers with her skill, dedication, and natural rhythm. Instructors and fellow dancers praised her work ethic, noting that she trained like everyone else instead of expecting special treatment because of her famous parents. She earned respect through hard work rather than celebrity status, proving that talent speaks louder than headlines. Then, after turning 18, she made a decision that stunned Hollywood. Soon after reaching adulthood, Shiloh reportedly filed legal paperwork to remove Pitt from her surname, becoming Shiloh Jolie. The decision immediately sparked worldwide discussion, with fans and media outlets debating what it meant for the family's future. Neither side publicly turned the moment into a dramatic spectacle, allowing the legal process to speak for itself. Whether viewed as a personal choice or a symbolic fresh start, it became one of the most talked-about celebrity family stories of the year. Yet another sibling was quietly making similar moves. Unlike his brothers and sisters, Knox has remained one of the most private members of the Jolie family. Public appearances are rare, interviews are virtually non-existent, and he seems perfectly content staying away from Hollywood's endless attention. Fans occasionally spot him accompanying Angelina on casual outings, where he appears calm, respectful, and protective of his family. While many celebrity children chase fame at the first opportunity, Knox has consistently chosen a quieter life. But his twin sister was beginning to leave her own mark behind the scenes. Vivienne first appeared on screen as a child, alongside Angelina in Maleficent, but acting never seemed to become her main ambition. Instead, she developed an interest in theater production, working behind the scenes on Broadway's The Outsiders, alongside her mother. Observers also noticed she was credited professionally as Vivienne Jolie, adding to the growing public conversation surrounding the family's evolving identity. While each sibling followed a different dream, one thing connected them all. They remained remarkably united, and that unity would become the family's greatest strength. Despite years of headlines predicting division, the Jolie siblings have continued to present a remarkably close bond. Whether attending events with Angelina, supporting one another's milestones, or simply staying out of the spotlight together, they appear to value family above fame. Each has chosen a different path: science, art, dance, theater, or education. But they share a common desire for privacy and independence. Growing up under constant public scrutiny seems to have made them even more protective of one another. But their strongest influence has always been their mother. After the divorce, Angelina shifted much of her attention away from blockbuster films and toward humanitarian work, directing projects, and launching Atelier Jolie. She has often spoken about wanting to create opportunities for young artists and makers rather than simply building another fashion brand. Friends and industry insiders have described this chapter of her life as one focused on healing, creativity, and motherhood instead of Hollywood glamour. Yet even with professional success, another challenge quietly followed her every day. As her children grew older and began building lives of their own, Angelina entered a new phase that many parents understand all too well. The busy household that once revolved around 6 young children gradually became quieter as college, careers, and personal ambitions took them in different directions. In interviews, she has hinted at how emotional those transitions have been, acknowledging that watching her children become independent is both rewarding and bittersweet. But while Angelina adjusted to change, Brad was navigating a very different journey. Brad Pitt spent the years after the split rebuilding both his public image and his career. He continued starring in major films, expanded his production work, and remained one of Hollywood's biggest names. At the same time, reports suggested that some family relationships remained complicated, with many details kept private out of respect for everyone involved. Rather than speaking extensively about personal matters, Brad largely focused on his professional projects, while allowing the legal process to unfold. Yet one unresolved issue refused to disappear. Even after the divorce was finalized, one dispute continued making headlines: the battle over Chateau Miraval, the French winery once seen as the symbol of Brad and Angelina's dream life together. What had started as a shared investment eventually became the center of an ongoing legal conflict, reminding fans that some chapters don't end when the marriage does. While lawyers continued arguing over business matters, the 6 children appeared determined to leave the past behind and shape futures defined by their own choices. But their greatest transformation was still unfolding. Today, each of the Jolie children is building a future that looks remarkably different from what many expected. Maddox has pursued academics and filmmaking. Pax continues exploring photography and art. Zahara has focused on education and humanitarian causes. Shiloh remains dedicated to dance, while Knox and Vivienne have embraced quieter lives away from constant media attention. Instead of competing for headlines, they seem far more interested in discovering who they are as individuals. And that decision may be their greatest success of all. What makes this family so fascinating isn't just the famous names, it's how determined they have been to rewrite the rules of celebrity life. Unlike many second-generation Hollywood stars, the Jolie children rarely seek interviews, avoid social media fame, and keep their personal lives as private as possible. In an era where attention is often treated like currency, they've chosen something far more valuable: control over their own stories. That quiet approach has earned them admiration from fans around the world. But perhaps the biggest transformation belongs to Angelina herself. In recent public appearances, Angelina has seemed more focused than ever on supporting her children's dreams instead of returning to the non-stop Hollywood lifestyle she once dominated. Whether attending premieres, helping with college move-ins, or collaborating on creative projects, she often appears happiest when standing beside her family rather than in front of cameras. It's a striking contrast to the image many people knew 2 decades ago. The Hollywood superstar has gradually become known first as a devoted mother, and second, as a celebrity. And that shift says everything. Looking back, it's clear the Brangelina story was never just about romance or celebrity glamour. It became a lesson in resilience, change, and the lasting impact family struggles can have on everyone involved. Through years of legal battles, constant media attention, and intense public scrutiny, each member of the family was forced to grow in different ways. Some chose education, others embraced creativity, and all of them searched for lives defined by more than their last name. In the end, that search may be their greatest achievement. The Brangelina era may be over, but its legacy continues through 6 young adults determined to write their own futures. Their journeys remind us that fame can open doors, but it can also create challenges few people ever experience. Whether you admire Maddox's quiet leadership, Pax's creativity, Zahara's confidence, Shiloh's independence, or the private strength shown by Knox and Vivienne, one thing is clear: the next chapter belongs to them, not the headlines. Which story inspired you the most? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more incredible Hollywood stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.